Captain Arwood, thank you so much for inviting us to the Santa Fe Firefighters Museum here at the old Station 3 on Cerritos Road. It's 1751A Cerritos Road, beside the old Fire Station 3 and adjacent to the new Fire Station 3. Fantastic walk through memory lane and some firefighting history here in Santa Fe with old pieces of equipment, some antique apparatus. One of the latest additions, of course, that we want to talk about today is what's sitting right behind us here, the 1981 American France pumper that has recently been restored to be a memorial pumper for the city of Santa Fe. Can you tell us a little bit about this engine and where it's from?
It was originally from Rockland, California. Probably in service at least 10 years, maybe longer. It was sent to auction probably around 2010. A friend of engineer Scott Albuquerque, family friend named John Smith, purchased it at auction and was kind enough to donate it to the city sometime around 2010. So we began some fundraising efforts and been working on making it a memorial pumper. The idea was out there around that time. We really had a good opportunity as far as the donation, and then things sort of fell into place. It took a couple years to get things going, but we were able to get funds for paint. We were able to get Little Community College in Las Vegas to paint it. They were kind enough to do that. And just different people in the community have really stepped up. Most importantly, our volunteers from our fire department helped make everything possible. We had a lot of support, especially from Tim Esperanza, who's our fleet administrator. So it was just really a nice project to see come to fruition. It ran excellent, and it was just a really neat piece. It's almost a perfect sister to our last American of France. Here at the museum, there's one in red that it kind of was just a perfect match for a theme that we were going with.
So you mentioned a tribute to sort of 9/11, September 11th, and the attacks in New York and DC and Pennsylvania. What kind of things did you guys do to sort of memorialize 9/11 on this pumper? I noticed that there's the number 343, and of course numbers 189. Tell us a little about the significance of those numbers and how this sort of honors some of those folks that we want to remember.
343, of course, was the number of confirmed firefighters killed in the World Trade Center attacks. We chose black as the color just because it's a very unusual color for most fire trucks. So we thought the somber tones, instead of gold, the color of silver was chosen. We thought that was kind of fitting as far as a respectful tribute to those firefighters. It has a couple subtle touches about it that bring it more of a personal note to Santa Fe. If you look closely, you'll see the initials of firefighters that have died from job-related or active duty people that passed. And so there's lots of little subtle things on it that are dedicated to them. And that's kind of a personal tribute for the folks here in Santa Fe. Especially the 189 number is Captain Mueller, who recently passed away of pancreatic cancer. And so we wanted to. There was a rush to finish the project for him. It was the first, it had never actually been tested until the morning of his service. It was a very, like I said, just a lot of emotions, a lot of volunteers. The guys from the department, the community all came out. They literally finished it, I believe it was Friday night, and the memorial was Monday morning. And without the effort and volunteers of our firefighters and other unions, and especially people in the community, it couldn't have been possible. So,
well, it's a beautiful pumper, and I commend the fire department for all the work they did on it. We've got some footage that we shot earlier of the pumper. What else still needs to be done to this engine? Is it in pretty solid shape now, or are there still other projects you want to do?
As far as this project, I think we're kind of wrapping up. I think it'll be featured in the museum in September and October. But like I said, there's another pumper here that's dedicated to the children of Santa Fe that's very similar, and we're looking for some donations to kind of make it more kid-friendly, more interactive. We're looking to make it something when the children of Santa Fe visit, they can climb on it and check it out, and it's very accessible to them. Kind of interactive in approach where even though it's in the museum, you can open it up and it'll be plugged into the Wii Firefighter game, and things that are interactive for kids of this generation. But something that you'll see on parades and you'll see we have a wonderful fire prevention division, and they're going to utilize it for some of their demonstrations. And that truck hasn't been named yet, but we are definitely looking for folks to donate resources or donations towards it.
I'm just going to pretend like I know what the Wii firefighting game is. If it wasn't on Game Boy in 1998,
I hear you. I've seen it in passing, but I couldn't tell you. my coworkers told me to buy it, so I trust their influence.
There you go. I think that would probably be a wise investment.
Yeah.
So if folks wanted to help out, either provide some volunteer time and help work on some of the projects here, or just donate money to this Firefighters Museum here in Santa Fe, which is a fantastic resource. If people haven't been down to visit this museum, I really recommend you check it out. There's a lot of history in here.
Sure.
But if folks want to help out and provide monetary donations, donate their time or equipment or resources, what can they do to make that happen?
Probably the best way is they can either schedule an appointment, ask for myself or the union treasurer. We have an account through the union right now where people can make a check out to the Santa Fe Firefighters Association, specific to the Santa Fe Firefighters Museum. That check can be left here with the fire marshal or at our headquarters.
When is the museum open? Can folks just stop by, or are there hours?
It's open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. It is closed between noon and 1, but it's totally free and it's always here. And there's a lot of local history and some really unique stories that kind of were forgotten. And so we're trying to kind of bring certain things back into life.
Yeah, this museum is certainly a stroll through time. I mean, you have personal protective equipment going back to the early 1900s and the fire apparatus that are here.
Sure.
Equipment, news stories, and everything else. It's a little
bit of everything.
A pretty cool museum and a great resource for the city of Santa Fe. Well, Captain, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and I know you guys have calls to get back to running, so we appreciate you taking the time and introducing us to the 1981 American La France Pumper Memorial Pumper and the museum in general.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Captain.